Hi guys, this is Matt from Optimus Futures. Today is a Monday. Today I want to talk to you about the way you think about risk, reward, and uncertainty. So I'm going to illustrate it with an example that was actually developed by two professors. It's called the prospect theory. The prospect theory, it's a behavioral model that talks about how people think in terms of risk and uncertainty and the balance between the two. So every time you make a decision, you might think that it's your own individual decisions, but the reality is, as I say always, it's your DNA that makes the decision. Let me give you an example from real life about the prospect theory. And again, I have to give it to credit to the two professors who created it. One, his name was Amos Tversky, and the other guy is Daniel Kahneman. And I think they won a Nobel Prize for it. So again, it's called the prospect theory. Read about it online on Google. It will really help you out. But as far as our needs here as traders, let me give you an example. Let's say there's two options, okay? One option is I'm going to give you $25. You're going to collect it. It's my gift to you. Or you have a second option. You're going to get $0 or $50. So again, option one is $25. The other option is $0 or $50 on a flip of a coin or something like that. So I would say probably the majority of you would choose the $25, right? Because you're saying, hey, you know what? This is certain. I can collect it. I don't need the risk of not knowing what I'm going to get. But also there's another element to that. The other element is that the pain of losing emotionally, the way it feels to us, is much greater than the reward of winning. Okay, so I'm going to repeat it again. What we feel when we lose money versus the reward we get when we win money is completely different. It's much more painful to lose. And this is a reason that majority of people, sometimes they lose a lot of money after their best trade, after many months of successful trading, or throughout the day when they were up money and they end up upside down, double the loss. Why? Because when you're in a position, for example, again, hypothetical situation, and I'm sure that many of you who have traded for quite some time, it happened. So let's say you're up $500 on the day. It's a great feeling. You closed all positions. It's great. Now it's 3 o'clock. You're trading the mini S&P 1 hour before the close. Now you're saying to yourself, you know what? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to trade for the last hour because it's very active. So you go over the last hour. Now your loss is $500. At this point, you're at break even, right? But the pain of losing that 500 psychologically is much more difficult than the 500 you had before. So you're trying to do everything to avoid that loss. What happens in reality? Majority of people say, I don't want to take this loss. And then that loss turns from 500 to 600 to 700 to 800, and you end up the day with a loss of potentially $500 instead of being up on the day $500. Again, what we're trying to do is to avoid pain. Now, if somebody tells you that, it's something to be conscious of, right? So now that you know that actually your DNA takes over, and it's not you per se, you're not the guy who's incompetent or the bad guy who doesn't know how to trade or the frustrated guy. It's not. It's just something in our DNA and the way we think. So this is something to be aware of because the pain of losing is much higher. I've read a whole article in Medium, medium.com, about this guy who talks about how in 6 months, his experience with day trading. I think you can find it there, my experience with day trading on medium.com. But he talks about how for 6 months he traded and he was up money, and then in 1 month he lost it all. And the question is, and the conclusion that he makes is that day trading is not for him, or whatever the case is, or it's hard, or it's impossible. But the reality is that it happens to a lot of people. And the reason that it happens is because they don't want to take the loss that wiped out their entire win, because it's very, very painful. So now that you're aware of it, right, now you have to make more objective decisions. I always say awareness of our DNA will lead us potentially to better decision making. So if you're up on the day and you go into a break-even mode, right, Now you're not, how shall I say, it's not you personally, but let's say all the traders out there at this point are not chemically balanced, right? Now they're in a lot of pain because they've lost what they've made and they're in a state of loss, right? Because they had 500, they lost. But the question is, should you close out all your positions now and just leave, right? Let's say you had a win of $500, now you're in a loss of $800. Now you want to make it back. The question you ask yourself, are you trading or your brain took over, right? Is your strategy trading? Is it your logic trading, or your brain took over? Now you're trying desperately to recover and to get back to a point of at least break even and not to be in as much pain as you were before. So everything you do, think about the prospect theories. Go back to the way you traded, go back to the mistakes that you've done and see if this thing had a tremendous effect on you, or maybe it had no effect, I don't know. But I believe that those things that are inherited in our DNA and the way we think about risk and reward will definitely impact the way we look at the markets, the way we analyze things. And just because we know it, it does not mean that we can overcome it in a day. It's an effort. So now you're aware of it. This is something to fight, right? In your DNA, in your nature, in order to become a better trader. I hope it helps you. I wish you a great trading week. If you find my information useful, please click the like button. It helps get the information to other traders as well. And we always welcome your business here at Optimus Futures for futures and forex trading. All the best and good luck in trading. We'll see you sometime this week. Take care. Bye.